When most people picture a trip to Thailand, their minds instantly jump to crowded, sun-drenched beaches. Well, welcome to The Explainer. Today we're going to completely flip that script. We are diving into a side of Thailand that goes way, way beyond the typical tourist trail to explore two entirely different yet equally mesmerizing hidden worlds.
Picture this. On one hand, you've got the deep, dramatic, incredibly ancient jungles of the south, where nature has basically been doing its own thing, untouched for eons. And then, on the other hand, you have these misty, bohemian, high-altitude valleys up in the north. But there's a catch. They're accessible only if you're brave enough to conquer a seriously legendary mountain pass. So it's 160-million-year-old rainforests going head-to-head with 762 curved mountain roads. Two wildly distinct destinations, two totally different ways to experience the country.
Okay, let's dive into this. Part 1. Khao Sok, the ancient rainforest.
So, we're kicking off our journey down in the south, specifically in Surat Thani province. And I want you to really wrap your head around this number, 160 million. That staggering figure is the estimated age of Khao Sok's lush, evergreen rainforest. I mean, that literally makes it older and more diverse than the Amazon or the Congo. Because of where it sits on the equator and its super stable climate, this pristine ecosystem completely dodged the last ice age. Nature just kept flourishing here, uninterrupted for millions of years. It's like stepping into a time machine.
Let's do a super quick rundown of how this place came to be. Around 250 million years ago, believe it or not, this entire area was entirely underwater. It was part of a massive coral reef system. We're talking 5 times the size of the Great Barrier Reef. Eventually, tectonic shifts pushed it all up into the sky, creating these dramatic limestone mountains. Fast forward a bit to 1944, and a really deadly epidemic struck the area. Then, in 1975, the dense jungle actually became a hidden stronghold for communist insurgents. Finally, the whole area was officially locked down and protected as a national park in 1980.
But what's really fascinating here, especially if you're planning a trip and love a good story behind your travel destinations, is the human element. That 1944 epidemic completely wiped out a local settlement. It earned the area this seriously eerie nickname, Ban Sop, which literally translates to the village of the dead. Then, decades later in the 1970s, university students who were fleeing government forces actually hid out in these very caves. And in this crazy, brilliant twist of fate, their armed presence accidentally protected the forest. Loggers and miners were just too terrified to enter the jungle. So, basically, a political standoff inadvertently saved this ancient ecosystem from being bulldozed before it could become a protected park. Wild, right?
And because it was saved, the wildlife you'll see here is it's off the charts. If you're hiking through this jungle, you might catch the morning calls of white-handed gibbons echoing right through the canopy, or spot those crazy-looking black and white hornbills soaring overhead. The park is an absolute sanctuary for wild Asian elephants and the incredibly rare Malayan tapir. Oh, and if you are really lucky, you might even stumble across the giant Rafflesia flower. It's this massive, super rare parasitic plant that only blooms for a few days, and, fun fact, it famously smells exactly like decaying flesh, so you'll probably smell it before you see it.
Now, for anyone visiting, the absolute crown jewel of Khao Sok is Chao Lan Lake. This was actually created back in 1982 by the Racha Prophet Dam. It flooded the valleys with this massive body of vibrant emerald water, leaving these giant limestone karsts just towering straight out of the surface. People call it the Ghi Lin of Thailand, especially around this iconic rock formation known as the Three Brothers. And trust me on this, the absolute best way to experience it is by booking a stay in a floating bungalow right on the water. Waking up to the morning mist rolling over that lake, it is pure, unfiltered magic.
And this brilliantly illustrates why this park is a must-see, because the adventures waiting for you are top tier. You can glide down the Sok River on a bamboo raft, hike your way to the powerful year-round flow of Tong Kloi waterfall, or if you're feeling gritty, test your skills on a full-blown jungle survival trek. Oh, and you absolutely must take a traditional longtail boat to Coral Cave or Pakarong. The ancient stalactites and stalagmites inside look exactly like a petrified underwater coral reef. It is quite literally a nature lover's ultimate dream.
All right, switching gears completely. Part 2, Pai, the Bohemian Mountain Village.
So we are officially leaving the ancient, steamy jungles of the south and heading way up high into the mountains of northern Thailand. But listen, just getting to this next destination is a legendary adventure all on its own. 762. That is the exact number of hairpin curves you have to navigate on the notorious road from Chiang Mai to Pai.
It is widely known as one of the deadliest but absolutely most thrilling scooter rides in the entire world. Honestly, if you aren't an experienced rider, the sources highly recommend just taking a van. But if you can actually handle it, that winding journey through the mountains is something you will never forget.
And once you actually survive those 762 curves, the payoff is huge. The atmosphere is just incredible. To put it into context for our Turkish viewers, the authentic bohemian vibe of Pai is basically Thailand's very own Olympos or Kabakoyu. You know the vibe, it's this super artsy, laid-back community completely tucked away in nature. It's a total magnet for backpackers, digital nomads, and free spirits who just want to unplug and disconnect from the fast-paced world for a while.
Naturally, the places you stay and the local food lean heavily into that super chilled-out vibe. You could crash in these cool stilted cabins right over the rice paddies at Paddy Fields Haven, or just kick back by the river at the Canary Guest House. And the food scene? Insane. The town is packed with these amazing little cafes. We're talking Arabica craft coffee and killer creme brulee at Lemon Time Cafe, some surprisingly fantastic fresh ceviche at Centrico Mexican, and you can't miss the vibrant Pai night market. That market is literally the lifeblood of the town. You can grab everything from world-class Khao Sok soup to gyoza and kebab wraps. It's a foodie's paradise.
When you're fueled up and ready to explore, make your first stop Pai Canyon. Now, full disclosure, it's not exactly your traditional canyon. It's actually more of a reverse canyon. What that means is it consists of these narrow, honestly terrifyingly steep sandstone ridges that rise up above the jungle canopy. You absolutely have to wear proper shoes here, because the sandy trails are incredibly slippery, and there are massive sheer drop-offs on either side. But if you carefully make your way out onto those ridges, it is undeniably the absolute best spot to watch the sun drop behind the distant mountains.
Pai is also really famous for Nam Lod Cave, which is about 30 miles north. It's actually one of the largest caves in all of Thailand. You basically hire a local guide who takes you on a bamboo boat right through these massive pitch-black caverns. And if you're looking for something a bit more wild and community-driven, you have to try the river tubing. It is exactly what it sounds like. You literally grab an inner tube and float down the Pai River alongside hundreds of other travelers, stopping off at all these makeshift bars set up along the muddy banks. It's just a massive floating party right in the middle of this gorgeous mountain scenery.
Okay, bringing it all together. Part 3. The verdict. Which is for you?
So, the crucial point is, when it comes down to it, which of these two incredible, off-the-beaten-path destinations should you actually choose? Well, let's break it down. If you're after intense, dramatic nature, deep ancient history, and maybe treating yourself to a luxury floating bungalow, Khao Sok is 100% your winner. Plus, it's super easy to get to from southern hubs like Phuket. On the flip side, if you are a backpacker on a tight budget, we're talking getting by on just 15 bucks a day, and you're craving that relaxed, artsy vibe full of scooter rides, canyon sunsets, and dirt-cheap street food, Pai is absolutely calling your name. That is, of course, provided you can stomach that dizzying 762-curve mountain road.
Ultimately, both of these destinations prove that Thailand's greatest treasures are usually hidden away deep in the jungle or high up in the mountains, far from the beach umbrellas. So, what kind of explorer are you? Will you lose yourself in the ancient mists and towering limestone karsts of Khao Sok? Or will you find your free spirit wandering the vibrant bohemian streets of Pai? Whichever path you choose, a truly unforgettable adventure is waiting. Thanks so much for hanging out with me on this explainer, and I'll catch you on the next one.